Now, hey, I don't know. Maybe somebody gonna say this shit ain't even my business, but at the same time, right now, since I'm giving you the news on all things trap, cause trapping is not dead. Oh my mama, this shit is live and well. Trump, man, I don't know what the fuck Trump doing, but I'm talking about as soon as he could, first day, he let the dude who invented the Silk Road out of jail, pardoned him like that, snap of a finger. Watch this story so I can tell y'all what I think.
Vote for me on day one. I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht. He's already served 11 years. We're going to get him home.
That was then candidate Donald Trump making a campaign promise at the Libertarian Party National Convention to pardon Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht. In 2011, Ulbricht set up his website on the dark web. It was called Silk Road. It became a hub for people to sell lots of things, among them drugs, weapons, and, believe it or not, murder for hire services. Now, Ulbricht didn't do any of those things. He just provided the place on the web in which those transactions, often or almost exclusively paid for in cryptocurrency, could be transacted. In 2015, he received 2 life sentences, which many in that Libertarian Party convention you just saw thought was excessive. The FBI once referred to Silk Road as, quote, the most sophisticated and extensive criminal marketplace on the internet. Technology reporter David Yaffe-Bellany is covering Ulbricht for the New York Times and joins us now. David, it's great to have you with us. For those who are just catching on to this story, had never really heard anything about Silk Road or Ross Ulbricht, paint a picture for us.
Sure. So Ross Ulbricht was a kind of crucial figure in the early history of cryptocurrencies. He created this platform where people could buy and sell drugs. You could have drugs basically sent to you via the postal system, and you would pay for it in Bitcoin, which would keep those transactions anonymous. Eventually, he was caught and ended up with that double life sentence that you alluded to before.
And did this website and Ulbricht's involvement make him something akin to a folk hero among libertarians or libertarian-inclined ideologues in this country?
Yes, absolutely. Ross was a libertarian himself. He espoused libertarian ideals, and the project of the Silk Road sort of corresponded with some of the ideas of the movement. And so he was embraced by libertarians, especially when he received a sentence that even many kind of neutral legal experts considered unusually harsh for what he did.
And what did he actually do
so
that led to this sentencing?
So what he was charged with doing was creating this platform where drugs were distributed over the internet. And there were some other charges as well. There were also accusations that he solicited people to commit murders on his behalf. He was never actually charged with that, though it did affect his sentence. And there's no evidence that those murders were actually committed. But that aspect of his behavior certainly had a major contribution on his public reputation and the sentence that he ultimately received.
And I know libertarians believe, hey, look, if people want to take drugs, it's their right. But there were some significant harms that arose from transactions, drug transactions on Silk Road, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, the federal prosecutors attributed 6 deaths to drugs that were sold on Silk Road. You had parents of those people, speaking during the court proceedings about the effect that Silk Road had had on their lives. I mean, he's a man who committed very serious crimes. There's no question about it.
And what do you think this tells us, this pardon, about maybe the political popularity of Ross Ulbricht or the libertarian movement, or is it more about an association from this new president returning to office and cryptocurrency itself?
I think it offers some major insights into how Trump operates. If you can get close to him, you can advocate for this sort of stuff. So in his announcement that he was issuing this pardon, he sort of thanked the libertarians for voting for him. So clearly it was a gesture to that movement. And, this is something he promised to do on the campaign trail when he spoke at a Bitcoin conference and was trying to appeal to that constituency as well. So it's a reflection of kind of 2 groups that he's sort of allied himself with, during his latest rise to power.
David Yaffe-Bellany, the New York Times, thank you so very much.
Hey, now look at dude. Dude look happy as a motherfucker on it. then got pardoned and shit after he did down there about 11 years, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But this was crazy, right? This fool got set up on his own website damn near trying to get somebody killed who owed him like some minuscule amount of money when he was rich as hell, selling the motherfucking drugs on the dark web. Well, technically he wasn't selling them. He just created the marketplace. I don't remember the whole story about dude, whether or not he got into the drug trade and was actually moving it. I think his whole thing was, I just want to create the apparatus so that the dealers and the customers can get what they trying to get from whoever they trying to get it from, however they going to work that out and get it in a secure way without the motherfucking government all up your ass and stopping you, trying to stop you and bogart you and tell you what you can and can't do like you ain't grown and like this shit ain't supposed to be a democracy and we supposed to be free in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, when I finally found out about this Silk Road shit, I was scared in the motherfucker. I was like, bro, I'm not finna buy nothing from these crazy ass folks. What's wrong with these folks? But then, you know what I'm saying, like, looking back on it, you know what I'm saying, nigga could have really came up off this shit, because I done been locked up with some niggas who was tearing this shit up. I'm talking about, dang, man, I'm sitting in this motherfucker, I'm sitting in county jail with motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, millionaires, you know what I mean? They in there just low as hell, you know what I'm saying? But they was fucking with that dark web shit. That shit was getting real money. And I guess Trump trying to get him some of that money too. That's why he let that nigga out. Because Trappin ain't dead.